Hi guys, welcome back to the channel today. If you are just turning in here, you're welcome, and if you have been a returning subscriber, you're also welcome. Today's tutorial, you're going to be learning how I made this top. It is a tube top, and I posted a video recently on how I drafted it. So if this is what you would love to learn, please stay tuned until the end of the tutorial. So this is the pattern, and I went ahead to shape out the down part, which I didn't do on the drafting of this pattern. So these are the materials we are going to be using. We have the actual fabric, the lining, and hairstay. So this hairstay, I'll be using it to fuse into this actual fabric and the lining to make it a little bit firm. Now I'll be cutting both the lining and the actual fabric together. I'll also be placing my gum on top so that I will be able to cut this easily. Okay, I'll be cutting them together. So I've placed the pattern on top, and at the down part I'll be adding 2 inches for my hemming, and every other part I'll be adding half an inch for stitching allowance. Now after we cut this out, this is what it should look like. So we have the center front, side fronts, the side back, and the center back. Okay, and right now you're going to head over to your ironing table to fuse the hairstay in and also pad the bustier part. So this is what we have after we've padded it. The next step for us to take is to arrange this in place. So you're going to have to place your center fronts and your side fronts together using your pin to hold them down, just like the way you can see me doing right now. Hold it down and then repeat the same thing for the back. So place your back piece center back and the side back together and head over to your sewing machine. Stitch this down with half an inch. It's actually very simple, and after you join this, you're going to have to notch and go over to your ironing table and iron the seams flat. Okay, so the only part you are going to be top stitching is just the lining, and after we must have done this is what it should be looking like. So this is the lining, and the actual fabric is right there on top. So this is what it should look like, and this is the back. Okay, so guys, now it's time for us to cut out this strap, and this strap I'm going to be making use of 5.5 inches, which is the um shoulder that I offed before cutting out this tube top. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back again, but then at this point I'm going to be making it a strap. All right, so I placed my fabric on fold, and then I went ahead to mark out 1.5 inches. So this 1.5 inches is on fold. By the time you open it up, it's going to be 3 inches. Okay, and I'm going to be making use of 1 inch elastic for this. So meaning that I'm going to measure out 5.5 inches plus 3 inches allowance, because I'm going to be using elastic for this. Okay, now that I've finished cutting it out, this is what we have, and I'm heading over to my sewing machine to stitch one part of this using half an inch. That means I would be left with 1 inch, which I'll be inserting my 1 inch elastic in. Okay, so this is the strap. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. So turn it over to the right side and give it a good press. So once you are done ironing this, it's time for us to cut out the elastic. Now for the elastic, you're going to be making it 3 inches shorter than the strap. Okay, so I went ahead to cut out the elastic, and then using my bodkin, and if you don't have a bodkin, make use of your pin. So I went ahead to insert this into the strap. Okay, then while inserting the strap, make sure that you hold one end of the strap with a stitch so that it won't enter inward. Okay, so this is how I'm going to be placing the strap on top the front. Okay, but then before that, you're going to have to go and join your side back, okay, to your side fronts. So I'll be making use of the allowance that I left. Okay, if you have 2 inches allowance, make use of that, but for me, I made use of 1.5 inches. That was the allowance that I left for the side seam. So after you are done with that, you go ahead and bring in your strap, and you're going to have to fix it right on the dart of the front and at the dart of the back. Okay, so this is the way you're going to be fixing it, and once you are done with that, you're going to bring in your lining, and then right side facing each other, that is the lining and the actual piece, right side facing each other. You're going to go ahead and make sure that each of the seams, that is the darts that you have stitched, aligns with each other, the zipper to zipper and the darts to darts. You're going to make sure that they align with each other using your pin to hold it down. And then once you are done with this, go ahead to your sewing machine and stitch this down. So you can see the way I'm placing this. Do just like that, and then head over to your sewing machine and sew this all around. Okay, so after we sew this, you're going to have to notch the stitching allowance. Okay, and then once you are done notching, you are going to have to top stitch right towards the lining piece. Okay, don't top stitch towards the actual fabric, top stitch towards the lining piece, and once you are done with that, this is what you should have. Okay, and when you want to fix your lining, lest I forgot, remember to place your strap should be inside, okay, before you do this. And then once you're done with that, you're going to have to go on and stitch your side seam and also stitch the down part. Okay, but for the down part, you're going to be leaving like 5 inches space where you're going to be turning this around. All right, so this is the space that I left, and once you're done with that, go ahead and notch your seams. And after you are done notching your seams, you're going to have to turn this over to the right side. Okay, so make sure you bring out all the seams that might be stuck inside. Okay, so just as I'm using my scissors to bring out the seams that might have stuck in, do yours just that way, and then head over to your sewing machine again and stitch the 5 inches allowance that you left. Okay, if you want to use your machine to stitch, but for me, I'm going to be using invisible hem stitch. Okay, to, so I brought in my needle and thread to stitch this using invisible stitching. Okay, so I prefer to use that, but if you want to use your sewing machine, you can head over to your sewing machine and just stitch top stitch on top the lining and the actual fabric. All right, so after we're done, this is what we have. You guys, you can see how beautiful this is looking, and this is the back. I also went ahead to attach my zip. So you guys, that would be all for this tutorial. Do make sure to subscribe if you haven't done yet. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. I will see you in my next one. Bye.